Hi guys, this is Skittflash here, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. In this part, well, first we're going to be talking to Mont Blanc about how much Ritz just kind of let us down. Good God. But in this part, it's going to be mainly just a bunch of filler stuff. Maybe I should just have like videos like this every now and then. Originally, I was planning on making like, every other video would be like this, but I feel like that'd be way too long if I did that. But right now, Marsh is enjoying this new world, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, like, who wouldn't, right? I mean, yeah, you could fight monsters and get money and make a clan and learn spells and use magic. That sounds awesome. And now I can. So you should stay in this world. I mean, yes, you have Mont Blanc in this world, man. Do you have Mont Blanc in the other world? There are no Mont Blancs in the other world. We can make the strongest clan ever. The strongest clan ever. Sounds cool. Hell yeah, dude. That would be awesome. Mont Blanc, and now we're gonna have a bro moment, I guess. You've got to be one of the nicest people I know. Damn, that came out of nowhere. Were you like this in the other world too? I mean, I guess he stood up for people. It's just that he was timid, or maybe you don't trust me that much yet, Kupo. Of course I trust you. You've helped me out so much. Yeah, man. Mont Blanc, grade A, bro. We can be honest around me. Oh wow, he knew something was up with Marsh, man. Damn, saw right through me. Like any bro would. It's just when I met Ritz and Nubbswood, all I can think of, now I can go home. But she didn't want to go home, man. Damn. I mean, does Marsh even want to go home? I wonder. But I was wrong. Yeah, well, Marsh is Marsh and Ritz is Ritz. Yeah, man, all you can do is do what seems right to you. That's nice. It's hard to accept sometimes that, our, quote, friends, unquote, that we knew for like 2 hours might not be helping us on this journey, but at least we have Mont Blanc with us. That's like worth like 5 times the Ritzes, man. Anywho, so on to filler stuff. So this all these parts are kind of be focused around good old Pablo the Blue Mage. I said he finally got the Blue Saber, and now we can start learning. So what that entails is how the Blue Mage class works. If you played pretty much like any Final Fantasy game that has a job tree, I don't know if there's actually Blue Mages in 3. There might have been Blue Mages in 5. But anywho's, basically how Blue Mages work is you have a monster use a skill on you, and then you learn that skill. But it's only a very select list of skills, mind you. So you gotta be, it's worth looking up what you can and can't learn, just to save yourself some trouble. One thing you can learn from goblins is, Goblin Punch, as we'll soon see, and Magic Hammer, as this guy is gonna do. You actually want to learn these very quickly, because, you actually stop seeing goblins, like, in battles after a while. They go extinct, so to speak, and you can never get these spells again if you don't get them, like, early. But luckily you can get them early. The best strat to learn Blue Mage skills is actually to use a Beastmaster, which when you control Beastmasters can control monsters, and then you can just force the monster to do the move on your Blue Mage, because otherwise it's kind of just like RNG that you don't want to deal with. And there you go. He used Goblin Punch on Pablo, and now just Mega Man style, we took his power, and now we can do Goblin Punch on him. Goblin Punch admittedly isn't too good of a move. It does just random damage with a set attack growth, so like, or a set attack power, so later in the game it's not going to be useful. And, it doesn't really do, it does random damage, so it can be inconsistent anyways. And from this this guy, we can actually learn Magic Hammer. Magic Hammer is it's a cool spell. It does MP damage. It works very good in conjunction with a spell, another Blue Mage spell we'll get in the future. My problem with it though is that like later in the game, people who actually use magic have a ton of MP. So unless you're doing like a ton, like I don't know how Magic Hammer scales, if it's my magic power or not, but it just later it's not too useful. This battle has nothing to do with Pablo actually. Like I totally said every part would have to do with Pablo. This is kind of just a battle I wanted to show because I think it's a unique battle. And also, can I aim? Oh no, she doesn't. Oh wait, yeah, I'm mobilizing him. So this is a battle, this is a 4v2, which you think might be really easy, but the catch here is that these guys are much higher level than us. And I think these are some of my favorite battles because you really have to use tactics in battles like this. Like in other battles, it's kind of like you're stronger than the opponent, so you just overpower them. But in battles where the enemy, I wish there was more battles where all the enemies were just flat out way stronger than you, because that's when you really have to, like, you know, start playing smart and being like, okay, I'm gonna immobilize this paladin because that way, you know, he can't attack me, and you know, there's only one person attacking me, and I don't get just totally rushed and killed, because if I do just kind of move around stupidly, I'll get ganged up on and everyone will die. You know, it's fun little thoughts like that, I guess. Getting wrecked, that's fun, right? I think Tactics A2 does a really good job of that. There's a hard mode, and the game's, in my opinion, just all around a bit harder. This guy absorbs thunder because he has a thunder coat on, so we can't really use thunder on him. With Lanes, because the only tier 2 magic spell Mont Blanc knows right now is Thundara. But yeah, so it's just stronger enemies. We don't have to worry about positioning. That's another thing. I mean, if you look at this field, it's kind of all just open. But like, if there was more enemies, we really would have to be paying more attention to, like, you know, just flat out like running out there and getting rushed. That's why we're using Immobilize on this guy, actually, so he can't do that. Which is kind of funny because he's a paladin, and you get so much EXP for attacking that paladin too, because he's like so much like higher level than us. He's like level whatever. That's a strategy. If you can absorb spells, you can use a spell on yourself and then gain health for it. It's pretty cool if you don't have any healing spells. He's level 13. He's gonna wreck us. He's gonna disarm us. This kind of pisses me off, the fact that that landed, because now we don't have a bow anymore, which means, for one, we can't, you know, aim from a distance, and for another thing, we don't get any EAP because we're not learning a skill right now because she disarmed our bow. So, kind of annoys me. But luckily, Chico can still break people's legs with her goddamn hands, so I appreciate you, Chico, because if this guy could move, he would kind of wreck us. Like, literally the only person who can do damage to him is Mont Blanc, because he does magic, and he still has a really good resistance, but his defense is definitely, we would not be doing anything on him. So, you know, there's that whole dynamic of mages versus whatever. Because Chico got disarmed, that battle took way longer than it had to. But after the battle, Meryl mastered 2 white mage abilities, so now she can be an elementalist, which she needs to do anyways. Pretty much all our Vieras are going to have to be an elementalist at one point or another, no matter what I'm going for. But we also got a Blaze Robe from that battle, which is pretty cool. It makes it so we absorb fire, which is it can really help a lot. Like, you know, if you want to do AoE attacks, go ahead and do fire. You can do it on yourself and the enemies at the same time. You can do damage and healing. It's pretty great. And Chico, again, she got disarmed. What I didn't realize about disarm, though, is disarm makes it so that you drop your weapon. You still have it, but it just gets unequipped from you. So I thought we flat out lost that bow and we'd have to rebuy it. But admittedly, that'd be a really like dick move, because if we had like a super rare weapon and that got disarmed, I'd be pretty pissed. I think later in the game there's actually moves called like break weapon that like actually does flat out break your weapon, and that'd be awful. So the one quest we have yet to take is Village Hunt. The other 2, again, we're putting on the back burner, and Desert Peril is our story quest. And yeah, we're going shopping, I guess. And as I said last part, since we did like 10 battles or so, we have like a whole new stock of things to buy. We have all the tier 2 magic spells, the Fire Wheel, Thunder, and Sleet Rod. Teach, Fire, Thundara, and Blizzara? I forget the naming conventions. Here I am stupidly buying a second bow, not noticing we have 2. I'm buying this one because Sonic Boom is a pretty awesome spell. And you also want to just buy every instrument you can see. As you saw, the best way to learn blue magic spells is by controlling them. So having just, like, you know, an instrument for every occasion is going to be really useful. Even though they're kind of pricey, I did actually have to sell my stuff to buy some of all the weapons. But yeah, just out of all the weapons you want to buy like randomly, it'd be those, just because you never know when you're gonna run into a monster. Like this mission. I think this mission was like Lost Village or something. Or whatever mission I was literally just staring at like a few seconds ago. There's actually a panther here who knows Haste Break, I think the name of the skill is. So we can learn it from him. So again, that's how blue magic works. Early game, There's a very select set of skills that I find that makes Blue Magic really, really worth it. Those are actually typically the harder skills to get, and again, the best way to get skills is by having a Beastmaster control people, but until we have the instruments that can actually control certain monsters, that, like, you know, teach the control monster ability for a specific monster, it's gonna be eh. Our Elementalist also learning Fire Whip, and I think that's like one of the best moves in the game. It does fire damage and the chance of disable, and disable's OP. It makes it so that that bug literally can't do anything. It can't do actions, so it can't fight. It can't do its skills. I don't think it can even use items to like bandage itself. So it's pretty much, that thing is out of commission for a while. If you get disabled, the best thing you can do is just wait so you get your turn faster, because it only lasts like 3 turns or something around that. But here we are. We again, you kind of get into the habit of this, learning Blue Magic spells. You just have a Beastmaster control the monster, and then put Pablo in a very compromising position so that he will actually get wrecked. So you know, just so the moves don't miss, and then have your monster do the move on you. This one's Haste Break. I think this is actually a really cool spell. It's just it's pretty much just like Ren's speed that the soldiers learn. It makes it so that you slow them down. Slow is a really good move in this game, but it has the added benefit that if an enemy is hasted, I don't think enemies use haste too often, but if they are hasted, it just flat out casts Stop on them. I don't know what the accuracy on that is. I'll have to lab that, because if so, you could probably use some like really cool strats where you like purposely haste your enemy and then stop them. And if the like percentage is like 100%, then Stop is like an insanely good move in this game. But now that's all we have to learn from these monsters. I thought there was another move you could actually learn from these antlions, but it turns out there isn't. You can learn a move from antlions, but none of them have it. You actually do have to check whether or not they have it. But we can still use the Beastmaster's ability to control the Panther. That's actually the coolest thing. Like, that Panther does a lot of damage, so I thought it was really cool that like he attacked the antlion, and the antlion knew counter, so they both got hurt with a critical hit at that. So like they both took damage, which is beneficial to us because we are going to have to end up killing that Panther eventually. And as you saw, I casted fire on her, knowing that like she heals fire, so there's like literally like no problem if it actually landed. But it didn't, so that's the one thing you have to worry about like strats like that, like self-harming strats like that, is that even though it heals her, she still has the chance of dodging it because it's considered an attack, unlike Cure, which is like, the hit rate on that is always usually 100. So here I am trying to learn Sandstorm because I thought for sure that I could learn Sandstorm for these guys. And this is how hard it is to manipulate people via RNG. Like, Sandstorm is a move that, or AI manipulation, not necessarily RNG. Sandstorm is a move that attacks all people around you and inflicts blind. I thought you could move that. I think maybe in Final Fantasy Tactics A2 you can learn that, but definitely not this game. So I was kind of pissed when that happened, because I was in this map for forever trying to learn Sandstorm, and then he finally gets hit with Sandstorm and he doesn't learn Sandstorm. So, well, rip. And we're just gonna kill him? Well, no, actually. Yes, we're gonna kill him, but look at all the moves. He now knows 3 moves. That's fantastic. I think, yes, there's one more move we can learn from him. This is from Watching You. Or at least there's a sub-quest called Watching You, and then when you beat that, you get access to this battle, which is, you fight a lot of Float Eyes, or Air Hymns, I don't know what they're called. Well, there's Float Eye and then Air Hymn, I don't know which one's which. But, you actually cast, again, I had to actually pay like 10,000 gil to get the instrument that can control Float Eyes. But it's worth it, because that instrument actually does have a ton of attack power. And it controls zombies too, I think, which we'll need later in the game to get another Blue Mage move. That's why I think Blue Mage is the funnest thing to learn, because it's not just like, equipping weapons. Like, you actually actively have to go out and learn them for monsters. So I think that can be really cool. But as soon as this Float Eye moves, we can actually learn the move whenever he does that, and we have to hunt this guy down. That's annoying. Having jump is really whatever. So, this is Gaze. It's Stare. That's the move. It attacks in a T. And its accuracy is actually based on which way they're facing. So if they're facing you, the accuracy is 100%, which is really cool because it does confuse. But if they're not facing you, then it's 0%. Coincidentally, the law today was actually confuse. Confusion was against the law, and that Float Eye technically broke the law. But what's really funny is that our Beastmaster doesn't. We like forced him to break the law, And our Beastmaster doesn't get penalized, but the monster does, and I think that's hilarious. You can actually get monsters sent to jail. How the law system works is they give you a yellow card if you do, like, for doing something minor, breaking the law, but if you, like, kill someone while breaking the law, they'll, like, or you break the law too many times, you get a red card, and they just get flat out sent to jail. You also get a penalty, like a fine and stuff like that, or sometimes you even, like, just lose, like, stats, and that's, like, the worst thing, so that's why you don't want to break the law. But in the battle, Milton finally mastered 2 warrior spells, so now he can either become a dragoon, a defender, or a gladiator. I'm not sure. Again, we're still looking for a second bonga, but I think I'm going to make him a gladiator. I think he's going to be a gladiator defender, just because I think those are 2 really good skills. In the second game, I personally think that in the second game, gladiators are much better, because their attack growth is, like, pretty much the highest of the bonga classes. But in this game, they still have good stats. And again, look at all the skills he learned. This is kind of the fate of a Beastmaster, is they learn a bunch of different skills but never master anything, because you're always using a different instrument for a different occasion. But we do actually want him to master 5 Beastmaster skills. And I'm just gonna, you know, keep him with that weapon, because it has a ton of attack. And finally, we also got our second Moogle. He's actually the exact job we want him to be. We're gonna raise him as a thief for a while, and we want him to learn 2 thief skills, and then he can gain access to a bunch of new cool jobs. And wow, that was actually a quick filler part. How about that? So in the next part, we will be actually doing the next quest, which will be nice. But until then, this has been Skittflash. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Bye.